Family shunned me from seasonal festivities, claiming I generated unease. At the stroke of 12, I vindicated myself. Voice logs, protected ideas, and a massive stock launch. They banned me from New Year's Eve. Said I made people uncomfortable. But at midnight, as fireworks exploded across the Boston sky, and my phone vibrated with my brother's panicked voice, I proved them wrong in the most spectacular, soul-satisfying way possible. This isn't just a story about a $2.6 billion IPO. It's about a quiet fight, a searing betrayal, and what happens when the invisible finally refuses to be unseen. It was New Year's Eve, December 31st. My studio apartment in Cambridge was quiet, save for the distant cheers from other parties echoing through the window. My phone, my laptop, and a bottle of cheap champagne. The kind you grab at CVS on December 30th when you realize you're spending the holiday alone, sat on my coffee table. At 11:58 p.m., I took a sip from my coffee mug. The champagne was Andre, a dollar store sparkle, but tonight, it tasted like vinegar and triumph. Then at 12:07 a.m. my phone flashed. Cooper. My brother. I let it ring twice, 3 times, savoring the moment. Then I picked up. Wyatt. His voice was thin, ragged. Behind him, chaos. Glass shattered. A scream. What did you do? Dad's gripping his chest. Mom's yelling. How on earth did you accomplish that? I took another slow sip. Happy New Year, Cooper, I said, my voice calm, almost serene. I recorded the reality. You can't. He gasped, struggling for air. Those tapes, that Forbes piece. Wyatt, you signed an NDA. You'll be imprisoned. Everything will be lost for you. I glanced at my laptop. In just 75 seconds, 52,000 people had shared the article. Neural Thread Incorporated goes public, valued at $2.3 billion. CEO of Townsend End Industries sought to steal intellectual property. Founder states NDA did not cover personal IP. 3 patent lawyers confirmed. It's all in paragraph 12, Cooper, I said. More shouting in the background, Dad's voice. Call him. Get Wyatt on the... I ended the call. My hands were trembling, not from fear, but from the immense relief of a 27-year burden finally lifting. I wasn't the outcast because I was wrong. I was just born into the wrong family. C. Cooper, 4 years older, towering at 6 feet 1 inch by 17, inherited my mother's social grace and my father's commanding presence. He was built for their world. Country clubs, blazers like armor, a fluent speaker and quarterly projections. Me? I came out reading. Mom tells a cute party story about how I learned to code at 7 on Dad's old desktop, but the implication was always clear. I was the odd one out. When I got into MIT on a full scholarship at 17 studying neural networks and machine learning, my parents drove up in Dad's Mercedes S-Class for orientation. Dad looked at his watch and mumbled, "Wonderful campus." Mom patted my shoulder. "You'll do well, sweetheart. Just remember, grades aren't everything. Networking is important too." 50 minutes later, they were gone. 5 years later, I graduated summa cum laude, first in my class, with a departmental award for my thesis. I texted them the details 3 months beforehand. The morning of graduation, Mom called. "Sweetheart, we feel terrible. Cooper has his club championship today. We tried to move it, but you know how the club is. We're so proud." Her voice had that bright, hollow quality. I walked across that stage alone. My roommate's parents took pictures, his mother openly weeping for me, then took me to Legal Seafoods for dinner. I sat there, forcing a grin, before going back to my dorm and staring at the wall until dawn. That was the first time I truly understood. I was a rounding error in the Townsend equation. After MIT, I spent 4 years at Google's Boston office, turning abstract math into billion-dollar products. I saved every penny, slept in a converted living room with 2 roommates, watching my paycheck stack up. Meanwhile, Cooper was groomed for Townsend Industries, our family's manufacturing company. Dad brought him in, put him on the board at 26, senior VP at 28. Sunday dinners became strategy sessions where Dad would ask, "What about IoT?" And Cooper would lean back, wine glass in hand, pontificating. Dad would nod admiringly, Mom would beam as if Cooper had solved world hunger, and I'd just sit there, invisible, eating green beans. One time I made the mistake of contributing. IoT is crowded, but with AI-driven predictive maintenance, you'd have a unique value proposition. Cooper laughed. Actually, Wyatt. Mom's gentle voice cut me off. Let your brother finish. I learned to be quiet. Learned to show up, eat, and leave. I was decoration. In March 2022 at 27, I poured all my savings into something crazy. Neural Thread started as a weekend project. I was advising radiologists overwhelmed by MRIs, CTs, X-rays. They were missing things, tiny fractures, early-stage cancers, human error in a broken system. What if a neural network could see what human eyes missed? 7 months later, in my apartment, I had a prototype. It analyzed medical imaging with 95% accuracy, 11% higher than the industry standard. I brought it to Dr. Evelyn S. Vaughn, Director of Radiology at Mass General, a brutally honest 55-year-old with 30 years experience. She tested it. During our Zoom call, she took off her glasses. This is terrifying, Wyatt. Is it reliable? This is real, it will change everything. File a patent today. I showed her 12 scans from the previous month. Caught 2 things they'd missed. One was a stage 1 tumor. Every line of code was time-stamped and registered with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office on March 11, 2022. I called it Neural Thread because it wove through data like a thread through fabric, finding unseen patterns. I hadn't told my family yet. This was mine. Then on March 26 at 7:48 a.m. Mom called. Wyatt, we need you. My stomach clenched. Is everyone okay? We're fine. It's business. Cooper needs help. Townsend Industries is struggling. That afternoon, I drove to Stamford, to the glass and steel building Dad built in the 90s. Cooper's corner office overlooked the harbor. He gave me a politician's hug. Thank you for coming. Reports littered the conference table. Revenue down 21%, clients leaving, bleeding money. We need innovation, something to pivot toward. You're good at this stuff. He looked at me like I was a golden retriever that could fetch ideas. I spent 3 hours explaining AI integration, machine learning, how it could optimize their manufacturing, reduce defects, predict maintenance. Cooper was intrigued. Could we develop our own AI platform? My brain stuttered. 2 weeks later, he called. I'm pitching some investors tomorrow. Can you come just for technical backup? I agreed. In the conference room, Cooper, in a charcoal Tom Ford suit, moved through slides. Townsend Industries, pioneering AI diagnostics. He used my terminology, my frameworks, concepts I'd explained over coffee just 3 days before. A woman in a Patagonia vest, a venture capitalist, looked at me intently. Slide 7. A neural network diagram. Simplified but undeniably mine. Who's this? She asked. Cooper grinned smoothly. That's my brother Wyatt. He's been working as a technical consultant on the research. Consultant. Not creator. Not founder. Consultant. My mouth went dry. He handed me an 8-page folder. A formality, he said, a standard NDA to protect the family business. I scanned it. I signed it. Foolish. Because I believed blood meant loyalty. Because I'd already filed my patent 5 months prior. And nothing Cooper could do would change that. The NDA covered business discussions, strategy, clients, but nothing about intellectual property transfer. I thought I was safe. I should have known better. In June, Mom threw a charity gala. Townsend Industries, main sponsor. I wore my one nice suit, a Navy J, crew on sale. Cooper worked the room like a maestro, shaking hands, laughing, radiating powerful but approachable. Mom introduced him. My son Cooper, CEO of Townsend Industries. We're so proud. Then to me. And this is Wyatt. He works in technology. The way she said technology made it sound like I fixed printers. What kind of technology? A man in a Rolex asked. Before I could answer, Cooper slid in. Wyatt's still figuring out his path. He laughed, friendly but dismissive. He's brilliant with computers, but you know how tech guys aren't great with people. We're integrating cutting-edge machine learning into our diagnostic technology. The polite, practiced laughter washed over me. I stood there, a glass of wine I didn't want, in a suit that didn't fit, in a room full of people who looked straight through me. By August, Cooper's AI initiative was everywhere. TechCrunch. Legacy manufacturer pivots to AI. Townsend Industries' bold move. Cooper quoted extensively. My phone rang at 1 a.m. Cooper. Did you see the press? Investors are circling. Cooper. I said, my voice tight. That's my research. Neural thread. The diagnostic algorithm. That's mine. I filed the patent in March. His voice went flat. Wyatt, you consulted on this project under an NDA. The work belongs to Townsend Industries. That's not how NDAs work. Don't tell me how they work. Papers rustled. I have good lawyers. They say anything developed while consulting for us falls under company IP. My hands clenched around the phone. I never consulted on neural thread. What do you have? I hung up, shaking, and pulled up my patent filing. I told him the basics of AI. That was it. But to him, truth is what we can prove. 5 months before I ever walked into Cooper's office on March 11, 2022, I had every line of code timestamped on my personal GitHub repository. In September, Sebastian Donovan, senior partner at Hendrick & Shaw LLP, a Harvard law grad with 34 years of IP law experience, looked over my documents. We sat in his 42nd floor Boston office. Mr. Townsend, he said, exuding calm confidence, this is about as clean as IP gets. You filed before any alleged consultation. Code timestamped on your personal repositories. He leaned back. But you're dealing with family. That complicates things. How? I asked, looking out at the city where my family was likely having Sunday dinner without me. They'll claim you developed it on their time, use company resources. They'll make it expensive, painful. He folded his hands. The NDA you signed explicitly doesn't cover personal projects, so you're legally protected. The real question is, how far are you willing to go? As far as it takes, I said. On October 13th, I showed up at the estate for Sunday dinner, unannounced. The table was set for 7: Mom, Dad, Cooper, his girlfriend Reed, and 2 empty seats. Mine. Mom's smile froze. Wyatt, we didn't anticipate you. I texted. Oh, she looked at Dad. We must have missed it. I took a seat in one of the empty chairs. The table fell silent. Dad cleared his throat. How's work, Wyatt? Good. Neural thread is in late-stage development. We're discussing trials with hospital systems. Cooper's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. I thought we talked about neural thread, he said, his voice cold. My diagnostic AI platform, which I've been working on for 2 years. That technology belongs to me, I countered. It was patented on March 11, 2022, 5 months before I ever spoke to you about AI. Reed looked bewildered. Mom put down her wine glass. Wyatt, let's not talk business over dinner. He's trying to build something for this family, and you're undermining him with legal technicalities. Legal technicalities? I created something. Cooper's trying to steal it. Why not? You talk about Cooper's business all the time. That's different. How? Because Cooper isn't being difficult. Dad's voice cracked like a whip. He caught himself. Okay, keep your precious algorithm. But don't come to us in tears when you need money or connections. I'm trying to save our family business, Wyatt. Do you realize what's at stake? 200 jobs, people's livelihoods. Then save it with your own ideas, I said. I laid my napkin on the table and stood up. Reed wouldn't meet my eyes. Dad stared at his plate. Cooper looked like he wanted to throw me out the window. Mom's voice, gentle but deadly. I think you should leave, Wyatt. You're making everyone uncomfortable. I haven't finished eating, I replied. Thanks for dinner. No one answered. From then on, the exclusion was systematic. Thanksgiving. Small gathering this year, Mom texted. No invitation. Dad's birthday dinner. I saw it on Cooper's Instagram story, 12 people laughing over steaks. Mom's annual Christmas party. I apologize, Wyatt, but this year is business-focused, only clients and investors. I checked the guest list later. Cooper's college roommate who worked in marketing was there. I was the only one who didn't qualify for the party she'd hosted for 30 years, every year of my life. On December 15th, Cooper set a trap. He called an emergency board meeting, just him, Dad, and 2 senior partners, and emailed me an invitation. We need to talk, he wrote. This can still be resolved. Against Sebastian Donovan's advice, don't go alone, don't say anything without counsel. I drove down. The conference room felt like a courtroom. Cooper at the head, Dad to his right. Thanks for coming, Cooper said, no hug this time. He cut straight to it. We need the full neural thread algorithm. That's not going to happen. He slid a folder across the table. This is a settlement offer. We acquire neural thread for $3.1 million. Wyatt. Dad's voice was weary, disappointed. We're trying to save this company. Your grandfather built this. Do you want to be the one who lets it collapse? Neural thread is worth over $550 million by conservative estimates. That's speculative. We're offering real money today, based on your intellectual property. Cooper's face flushed. You signed an NDA. Everything you developed while consulting for us belongs to the company. You keep 10% equity. Everyone wins. I didn't touch the folder. He slammed his palm on the table. Don't tell me what the NDA covers. I'm trying to save our family's legacy, and you're acting like some Silicon Valley vulture. Then Mom entered, her heels clicking on the marble like a countdown. She sat next to Cooper. 3 lawyers confirmed the NDA doesn't cover personal projects. So Cooper shouldn't have tried to steal my work. She flinched. Actually flinched. That's a serious accusation. Dad said it's the truth. Wyatt, Mom said softly. Your brother is right. You have a legal obligation to this family. The law says otherwise. Family doesn't sue family, Wyatt. It's unseemly. Are you threatening me? I took out my phone, opened voice memos and hit record. The timer started. 1 hour, 43 minutes. Be careful, Wyatt, she warned. Don't make this ugly. You think your little startup can survive a legal battle with us? We have lawyers on retainer who cost more than your annual salary. This is documentation, I said, of this conversation, and the last 3 where you've tried to coerce me into giving up my intellectual property. Mom's face went white. You recorded us? Massachusetts is a one-party consent state. I don't need your permission. Cooper's voice went quiet. I stood up, put my phone in my pocket. I'm leaving now. You're making a big mistake, he hissed. No, Cooper, I replied without turning around. I'm just done being invisible. The silence was deafening. No calls, no texts, not even Mom's usual passive-aggressive thinking of you messages. I was excommunicated. If you want neural thread, create your own algorithm, I thought. Better yet, ask politely. On December 20th, I called Dad. It rang 4 times. Wyatt. His voice was thin, old. Hey, Dad. I wanted to maybe give everyone some space. You refused to help your brother after everything this family has given you. Given me. My throat tightened. You didn't come to my MIT graduation. You forgot my birthday. The line went silent. I lay on my apartment floor for an hour just breathing. What exactly have you given me? I whispered. Other than disappointment over the past 3 decades? More silence. I believe you should apologize to your brother. For what? For being selfish. Then on December 22nd, a subject line in my inbox. Neural thread IPO feature. Forbes contacted me. The journalist Eleanor Parker, a Pulitzer finalist, wanted to cover my story. We had a 2-hour Zoom call. So you developed this while working at Google? She asked. After Google. In my apartment. Solo founder. Self-funded. That's unusual for something this sophisticated. Most AI startups have venture backing early. I wanted to prove the concept first. Get real validation. And you got it. I sent her Dr. Vaughn's pilot study. Eleanor scrolled, impressed. 95% accuracy? Wow. It works. What's next? IPO timeline. I hesitated. Can I tell you something off the record first? She leaned back. Depends on what it is. My brother and his family tried to steal the technology. Claimed it belonged to his company because I'd explained basic AI concepts to him. I thought of moms, you make people uncomfortable. Cooper's dismissive smirk, Dad hanging up on me. Eleanor's face hardened. Do you have proof? Recordings, emails, patent documents. All time-stamped. She leaned forward. Wyatt, that's not a side story. That's the story. I don't want to destroy my family. What do you want? My hands trembled again, but I'd come too far. I want the truth documented. I want people to know what really happened. Are you willing to go on the record? Complete transparency. Names, companies, everything. Yes. Eleanor worked like a surgeon from December 23rd to 28th. She confirmed my patent with the USPTO, interviewed Dr. Vaughn and 2 other medical professionals. She reviewed the NDA, had 2 IP attorneys confirm it didn't cover my personal projects, and listened to all my recordings. Cooper's menacing voice. You think your little startup can survive a legal battle with us? Mom's icy tone. Family doesn't sue family. My calm voice. On December 27th she called. I'm posting on December 30th at midnight ET. Are you sure about this? I looked out my window at the Christmas lights still glowing in other buildings. Families together, happy. My brother attempted to steal 2 years of my work and erase me from my own life, I said. I think his reputation can handle the truth. It's going to hurt them publicly. Your brother's reputation. Good. I'll send you the draft for fact-checking tomorrow. This is going to be big, Wyatt. Really big. Good. Then, on December 28th, Mom called one last time. Wyatt, don't come. I opened an email from Eleanor. Subject. Reforb's draft accepted. Everything looks wonderful. Publish at midnight. Wyatt. I pushed send. This is exactly what I mean. Mom ranted. This victim attitude. Don't come to New Year's Eve for everyone's sake. Goodbye, Wyatt. She hung up. At 11:52 p.m. on December 31st, in my quiet studio, I opened Cooper's Instagram. 20 minutes prior he'd posted. The Greenwich estate lit up like a resort. String lights, a champagne tower. Mom in a black Armani gown, Dad in a tux. Through my window, Boston glowed with early fireworks. Caption. Bringing in 2025 with the people who matter most. Grateful, blessed. Ready for another incredible year. Hashtag Family New Year's Eve. Hashtag Townsend Industries. 113 likes already. I refreshed Forbes. The article was staged, ready to publish. At 11:56 p.m., I poured cheap champagne into my coffee mug. My only clean glass. Cooper, in the center of the Instagram photo, arm around Reed, grinned like he owned the world. At 11:58 p.m., 2 hours south, my family was counting down without me. I lifted my mug to my laptop screen and whispered, Happy New Year. At midnight I hit refresh. The article went live. Neural Thread Incorporated goes public at $2.3 billion valuation. Founder discloses Townsend Industries CEO. Attempted to steal intellectual property. Eleanor had included clips. Cooper's voice. You think your little startup can survive a legal battle with us? Mom's voice. Family doesn't sue family. My calm voice. The 4,200-word article laid bare every detail, every recording, every email. Dr. Vaughn's validation, Sebastian Donovan's legal opinion. And my calm response. Then Cooper shouldn't have attempted to steal my work. I watched the metrics. Neural Thread started trending. 200 shares, then 3,800, then 11, then 47, then 183. Someone tagged Townsend Industries. Then again. Then 100 more times. The comments flooded in. Disgusting. I'm sick. Then Cooper's call. I answered, sipped my champagne. Happy New Year, Cooper. I documented the truth. You can't. He was gasping. That Forbes article, those recordings. You signed an NDA. You'll go to prison. It's in paragraph 12, I reminded him. Wyatt, please. His voice cracked. Take it down. We can fix this. We can. More screaming, Dad's voice. Get him on the phone. I hung up. 51,000 shares in 90 seconds. 3 patent attorneys confirmed the NDA didn't cover my personal IP. Mom called at 12:09 a.m. I didn't respond. Dad at 12:11 a.m. I didn't answer. I blocked an unknown number at 12:15 a.m. Likely one of their lawyers. Cooper texted at 12:15 a.m. You just destroyed our family. I hope you're happy. I typed back. You excluded me from every holiday. Stole my work. Told investors I was just a consultant. You destroyed us years ago. I just made it public. My phone buzzed with notifications. Twitter, LinkedIn, emails from former MIT classmates. Holy Wyatt. A message from Dr. Vaughn. The truth had to be told. I'm proud of you. I poured more champagne. Sebastian Donovan texted. Well played. Call me Monday. We need to discuss next steps. Outside, fireworks erupted over the Charles River. Red, gold, silver. Rooftop cheers. I stood at my window watching the city celebrate, my phone buzzing relentlessly. The article spread. By 1 a.m. it was front page on Reddit. By 2 a.m. TechCrunch, The Verge, Bloomberg picked it up. Townsend Industries CEO accused of IP theft. Family business scandal. Leaked recordings reveal attempted tech theft. My phone was still ringing when I finally went to bed at 4 a.m. January 2nd, 2025, 9:47 a.m. I woke to 847 missed notifications. The Forbes article had 1.35 million shares. Cooper's Wikipedia page was updated. Forbes reported allegations of intellectual property theft in December 2024. Townsend Industries stock, which went public in 2019, fell 34% in pre-market trading. My inbox was overflowing. Partnership offers, investor inquiries, CNN, NBC, The New York Times, and one from an unfamiliar address. Subject, from a former Townsend Industries employee. It read, I worked for your family's business for 6 years before being let go last month, Mr. Townsend, and I wanted you to know that everyone there knew Cooper was lying about the AI development. He held meetings where he literally read from notes you sent him, then claimed he had come up with it himself. We knew, but we were unable to express it. Thank you for being honest. Serafina Harrington, former senior engineer. I read it 3 times. Then I called Eleanor Parker. Wyatt, I was about to call you. Have you seen the numbers? It's everywhere. Biggest tech story of the day, maybe the week. How are you holding up? I looked around my studio. The cheap champagne bottle, the coffee mug, the window overlooking other people's lives. I'm okay, I said. And for the first time in years I truly meant it. On January 3rd, the Townsend Industries board released a statement. We take these allegations seriously. CEO Cooper Townsend has voluntarily stepped down. On January 4th, Cooper's girlfriend, Reed, posted on Instagram. Sometimes you think you know someone. I'm taking space to process. The club asked them to step down from the board. Cooper stayed in his apartment for 4 days, refusing to see anyone. On January 7th, Dad called. I answered on the 4th ring. Wyatt. His voice was small, weak. Your mother is distraught. My hand tightened around the phone. You humiliated me for 29 years. You missed my graduation. You forgot my birthday. You told people I was figuring out my path, while you celebrated Cooper like royalty. Why are you telling me this? Because you're ruining this family. I told the truth about what he did. That's all. Did you have to do this in public? You kept me out of family dinners. You told me I made people uncomfortable for Thanksgiving and Christmas. You urged me to apologize when I needed help. You supported Cooper when he attempted to take my life's work. I didn't ruin this family, Dad. I hung up. Wyatt, I have to go. I have a board meeting. On January 14th, Neural Thread went public. Opening price, $86 per share. Closing, $134. A valuation of $2.6 billion. My personal net worth, $1.25 billion. At 29, I was a billionaire. I sat on the NASDAQ trading floor surrounded by my team. Dr. Vaughn, Sebastian Donovan, 9 engineers who believed in Neural Thread when it was just an idea in my apartment, and Eleanor Parker, covering the IPO for Forbes. Watching the numbers tick up, without the assistance, connections, or approval of my family. I thought about Cooper's Instagram post, bringing in 2025 with the people who matter most. I looked at my team, my new family, and said slowly, it feels like I finally matter. On January 15th, Townsend Industries sued Wyatt Townsend for $600 million, alleging misappropriation of company resources and breach of NDA. Sebastian Donovan called me at 11 p.m. They're desperate. Hemorrhaging clients. This is a Hail Mary. Can they win? Your patent predates everything. The NDA is crystal clear. But they can make it expensive. Let them, I said. I have the resources now. Wyatt, this is your family. No, I said quietly. On February 6th, Townsend Industries quietly dropped the lawsuit. No press release. Their lawyers issued a 1-sentence statement. After additional review, we are withdrawing our claim. Translation. They had no case and couldn't afford to lose publicly. Family doesn't try to steal your life's work and then sue you when the truth comes out. Family doesn't miss your graduation, celebrate your success, and then say, okay, we go to trial. By April 2025, Neural Thread signed partnerships with 19 hospital systems across the U.S. Dr. Vaughn's pilot program expanded to Mass General, Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic. Our algorithm was saving lives measurably. Neural Thread made its first confirmed catch, a stage 1 pancreatic tumor in a 55-year-old Baltimore teacher, overlooked by 2 radiologists. She sent me a handwritten note. Thank you for not giving up. I framed it and put it on my desk in our new office, 45th floor, Boston Harbor View. That April, an email from Dad landed in my inbox. Subject: Family Dinner. I read it 3 times before calling Eleanor Parker. You're writing a follow-up piece on neural threads growth, right? Yes, for the July issue. I replied to Dad's email. Thank you for the invitation, but I've worked for 30 years to earn a seat at your table, and I don't need it anymore. I've built my own table, and everyone here showed up for my graduation. I hit send. Then I called Dr. Vaughn. Sarah, are you free for dinner Friday? I'm thinking we celebrate the Baltimore save. Of course. Should I bring the team? The entire team. I'm buying. Wyatt, you're always buying. I grinned. That's because I can afford to now. In July, Forbes published Eleanor's follow-up. Neural Thread hits $4 billion valuation. How family betrayal became the year's biggest tech success story. The article featured my email exchange with Dad. Eleanor wrote, he's built proof that the people who underestimate you don't get to define you. Sometimes the best retaliation isn't destruction, but building something so undeniable, they have to watch you succeed. It went viral again. 52 million impressions in 3 days. This time I was too busy to read the comments. In October 2025, Neural Thread won the National Medal of Technology and Innovation. The ceremony was at the White House. I received the medal from the president. Your work is saving lives, Mr. Townsend. The country is grateful. I shook his hand, grinning for the cameras. Dr. Vaughn, Sebastian, my engineering team, Eleanor Parker, friends from MIT, my former roommate's parents. They were all there. My parents and brother were invited. They did not show up. Later that month, I bought a home in Cambridge, a short walk from MIT. 5 bedrooms. Dr. Vaughn's research team occasionally crashed there during late-night coding sessions. I signed the paperwork alone, drove over that night. The house was enormous compared to my studio, vacant and echoing. The sun was setting, turning the living room gold when my phone buzzed. Cooper. I was tempted to ignore him, but curiosity got the better of me. Hello, Wyatt. His voice was different. Smaller. I saw the medal news. Congratulations. Silence. I'm sorry, he said. For everything. I was scared. And envious. I sat down on the cold hardwood floor. I don't know what to say, Cooper. You don't have to. I wanted you to know what I did was wrong. What we all did was wrong. His voice cracked. Do you think we can ever fix this? I looked around my empty house. I thought about the team dinner scheduled for Friday, the research partnership with Stanford beginning Monday, and the lives we were saving. I honestly don't know, I said. Right now, I'm just focused on moving forward. He sounded like he was crying. Okay. I understand. Thanks for calling. I hung up. I sat in the quiet of my new home. I didn't cry. Didn't rage. Didn't feel much of anything except peaceful. My phone buzzed again, but it wasn't a call. Dr. Vaughn texted. Housewarming party? When? I'll bring the team and terrible wine. I replied, Saturday. Bring whatever you want. Just show up. She texted back. Always do. That's what family does. I grinned, set down the phone, and reclined on the hardwood floor, watching the light change from gold to purple to dark. For 29 years, I'd been invisible to the people who were supposed to see me first. But now I was undeniable. Because I was the wrong kind of Townsend, the kind who built his own table instead of begging for a chair at theirs. Cambridge hummed with life outside. Students walking, researchers working late, people building things that mattered. For the first time in my life, I fell asleep without having to prove my value. I already knew I was valuable. My phone buzzed one last time. A Forbes notification. Your article is now the most shared tech story of 2025.